Hey guys, today I'm gonna make another video and today I'm gonna do a slightly different topic. One day I was in the mood to write something creative, so I asked my mom to search up some creative writing topics. I saw one that interested me and I wrote a writing with it. My mom will read it to you. The title is A Pet Store but with somewhat unusual animals.
Mia was on her way to her neighborhood pet store, the Animal Kingdom. When she was young, her mother had forbidden any animals in the house. But Mia was an animal lover. Now she was 20, so things were different. As soon as she bought her own house, she immediately set off to do what she had wanted to do for so long: adopt her own pet. She had always been a regular visitor of the Animal Kingdom. Even if she couldn't buy anything, she still had visited regularly to window shop or just simply observe the animals there. Thus, she had naturally become close friends with the manager, Robert. She pushed open the door and entered the shop. She looked around at the familiar surroundings. She had so hoped for a day like this to come, when she could actually buy her own pet. "Hello, may I help you? My name is Emma, by the way." She greeted her kindly. "Oh yes, please. I'm looking to adopt a pet finally. And my dad. Could you make some suggestions for me, please?" Mia exclaimed. "If you like a quiet and easy to care for pet, I would recommend birds or fish. But if you have the energy and time, a dog or a cat would be more appropriate." "I want an energetic and lively pet, please," Mia answered after thinking for a while. "Then, please follow me," Emma said, leading her tour where the puppies and kittens were. Although Mia didn't know it, another person was watching her closely. It was the manager of the store, Robert. He thought to himself, "She has energy and the love for animals. I know that well. But does she truly have enough to take on the responsibility? Well, no point in guessing. Let's ask her directly." Then, he sauntered casually to where Mia was looking at the puppies. "Mia, long time to see. By the look on your face, I observed that you can finally adopt an animal at last. I just wanted to ask you, if you could, would you be willing to take care for a quite different, unusual kind of animal, even if it is very unpredictable and reckless?" Mia answered without hesitation. "Of course I will. How hard could it be?" "Well then, please come with me." He led her to the back of the store and opened a door that read, "Staff only." Mia looked at him questioningly, but didn't say anything. They set off down a long hallway. "Wow, I never knew there was a place like this in such a bustling store." Robert smiled slightly, knowing this could be a life-changing opportunity for his old friend. As they neared the end, they came to a double padlocked room. Robert turned to face Mia. "I trust that you can handle this, but I need to ask you one more time. Can you really handle any kind of animal?" Although she was uncertain, Robert's attitude made her make up her mind. "Yes, I can," she said, without a hint of hesitation in her voice. "Then, let us go inside." And with that, he opened the door. They entered the damp and dim-lit room. As Robert closed the door behind them, Mia realized that she could hear a faint, distant cry. "Who is that?" she asked, feeling slightly nervous now. "Those are the animals we're going to meet." They continued down the corridor. Mia got the impression that the road was gradually going downwards. "Are we going underground?" she asked. "In fact, we are. People rarely take notice of what's going on right below their feet. And besides, there's way more space under here." They stopped in front of a door that was locked. The roaring sound was louder than ever now. Robert fumbled with a ring of keys he wore at his belt, then pulled out a fairly rusted old-looking key and fitted it in the lock. As they opened the door, an old man in a grizzled outfit ran to greet them. "Robert, why are you here? Who is she?" he asked with a faint hint of expectation. "This is Mia Walker, a long friend of mine and an animal lover. Because of that, I do believe she could be the one," Robert added in a whisper. The man's eyes lit up, and he immediately ushered them to yet another door. He opened it, and the most amazing sight met Mia's eyes. In front of them, a lush green walkway was laid out, zigzagging between enormous glass-walled enclosures, and behind them were the creatures. Creatures. There was no other word to describe the beautiful beings before Mia's eyes. Some had long, fluffy manes and lustrous tails, where others had dazzling horns and glistening scales. "They're beautiful," she murmured to herself. "Quite a shock, isn't it?" Robert asked. Then he set off down the lush pathway. "And the thing that's hardest to believe is that you'll be the one to take care of them one day," he added, almost as an afterthought. Mia couldn't help her mouth falling open. "Me? I'll take care of these creatures?" she exclaimed, bewildered. "Well then, why would I have brought you here? To show off to you? No, I asked you if you could care for something different, and you agreed. These are what you will be caring for. Behold, the animals from the myths." From now on, as the narrator, I'll do my best to do these animals justice in describing them. And the first enclosure was an animal most commonly known as the griffin, an animal with the head and wings of an eagle and the body of a lion. Mia, like most people, had always believed the griffin to be a myth, but now that she was staring one in the eye, she couldn't deny that they were very real. This particular griffin was a mix of brown, black, and gold. The wings were a cascade of dark brown and gold, with the tip of each feather dipped in black. They were almost the size of the body itself, which was the muscular, powerful form of a lion, a rich golden yellow. Its clothes glinted pure white in the dim light. Next to the griffin was the infamous unicorn. This creature was a shimmery pearl white. It had tufts of silvery fur on the end of its legs, and its mane and tail was the same silver. And the horn and hoofs were a simply stunning gold. The unicorn regarded the onlookers curiously. Across from the unicorn was a somewhat small, yet majestic dragon. It was an emerald green, standing out among the gray boulders that made up its habitat. Its wings were that same emerald, with darker green just at the tips. It caught their eyes and growled maliciously, glaring uncertainly at the newcomers. Near the dragon, a phoenix was pluming its wings. It was coal black except for the tips of its wings and tail, and its eyes, which were a fiery red. It was perched on a high branch, and it glanced at the people, then lost interest and returning to plume itself thoroughly. By this point, I cannot describe more than this. There are several more creatures, but now, as well known as the four above. Now let us get back to Mia and how she is taking this completely bewildering situation. Mia was too busy staring around her to say anything, her brain refusing to believe what her eyes were seeing. When they finally reached the end of the walkway, the man, whose name was Hailym, opened a heavy bolted iron door, and immediately the temperature soared to boiling hot. Mia saw why. There was an enormous fireplace in the center of the room, and in the middle of the roaring flames were a cluster of multicolored eggs. I guess those are dragon's eggs? Mia asked. Oh yes, they are. Possibly the only legit dragon eggs in the world right now. As if she had thought of something. Mia shook herself out of her wonder and turned to face Robert. By the way, where did you get these animals anyway? Oh, we are very well known among rare animal collectors and people who search for these kinds of animals. They call us the Society for the Protection and Shelter of Mythical Animals, or SPSMA for short. They constantly send us these creatures and eggs for safekeeping, with a price, of course. But isn't it absolutely worth every penny of it? Robert answered. Mia had to admit that part was true. Then, collecting herself, she took a deep breath, trying to digest everything, then asked again. Now, why is this about me taking care of them? Well, William here has been doing that job for several years now, and it's time someone replaces him. I was hoping someone like you would come along. Someone who's fully devoted to animals and willing to take up the task. If you're willing to, then William will teach you what you need to know, and besides, there's a monthly salary as well. Then, how can I refuse? When do we start? Do I have to sign up for something? Mia asked readily, her eyes shining. Robert and William looked at each other and grinned. Then, as you say, let's begin now, William exclaimed. Mia beamed at him. Looking back now, it had been a completely unexpected turn of events. This morning, she had come to the pet store looking for a puppy, but instead, she had become a caretaker for animals that she hadn't known even existed. But she was more than happy with the way things had turned out. She made up her mind. I'll care for these magical creatures with everything I've got.